Welcome back to the podcast. It is May 8th.
Dude, it's my sister's birthday.
It's my sister's birthday.
No, it's not.
No, dude, show me your birth certificate. Show me the birth certificate, dude. Dude, that's not even the biggest news. We got a new pope, dude.
We did get a new pope. He's from Chicago.
He's from Chicago, guys. So
He's
that's
the first American pope.
First American pope, guys. Biggest news. So we'll talk. That's the biggest news so far.
The white smoke was upon us.
So that's the biggest news so far. That's it. Have a good day. Nah, I'm kidding. Big news. Harada fired everyone.
Not everyone. Let's relax.
Not everyone.
Tekken. Season 2 bad. Everyone knows. Not gonna talk about
Everyone
it.
hates it.
Not gonna talk about how bad it is. But this whole thing started. Well, basically first, Harada, the lead guy, like John Tekken, Harada, right?
Yeah.
He's like the main guy, and he said that they are replacing the balancing team because the balancing team's views and stuff are not aligning with what the player base wants at all.
Yeah.
So they're going back to the people who were in charge of Tekken Tag 2 and Tekken 7. Both. I mean, nobody really liked Tekken Tag 2. People act like they like it now, but Tekken 7 is actually goated.
Yeah.
But this all started because Nee, the other John Tekken, the goat of one of the goats of Tekken, he put out like a whole like tweet over the past couple weeks. He's kind of been doing this like once a week, saying like, hey, these are the changes that I think should be made because this doesn't feel good, or this feels unfair that certain people have this and others don't, or I don't think this should be that way, and basically kind of venting. And he put this whole thing out the other day, this whole tweet that was like, you're not rewarded for playing it like a 3D game anymore because the homing moves are homing, so you can't sidestep, and for some reason they're plus. So you get punished for sidestepping in a 3D game where sidestepping is what you're supposed to do. And even if you block it, like you make a read and you block it, you still didn't win the interaction. So Harada then replied to this tweet. Or he didn't directly reply to the tweet, but like he addressed some of the things in said tweet so that he was kind of commenting on what Nee said. But basically he's like, yeah, we're trying to make more changes, emphasize defense because that's what people wanted. We're going to be changing this, this, and this. The head of the balancing team is going to be the guy who is like in charge of balancing from like Tekken 6 through Tekken 7. So that's Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 7. All three good Tekken games.
Was he not in Tekken 8 at all? Like, what happened to him?
Well, it's not that I don't know if he wasn't, but I don't think he was the head, like the head of the balancing team. Like, I don't think he was the head or something. And from how he phrases this in the tweet, it's that it's a completely different balancing team. Okay. Like, so that worked on Tekken 8, because all the other Tekken games are very defensive based. Like, that's kind of its thing. So what my theory is they found new guys who were going to push the game in a different direction, which is what they wanted to do. They wanted to make Tekken 8 more aggressive. They wanted to make it more exciting to watch as an esport, because it's more exciting to watch people swing than it is to watch people like dance around each other like, who's going to swing first?
Yeah.
But they went way too far in that. Like, for the most part, season 1 almost perfect, in my opinion. It's just like the top 5 characters needed to be like slightly nerfed, and the roster would have been balanced. Maybe they nerfed Heat a little bit, but they said before season 2 came out was, we're gonna make the game more defensive. We're gonna buff sidesteps. We're gonna do this stuff. And then for some reason, when season 2 came out, they buff sidesteps so they travel farther, but they gave everybody an overpowered homing move that is plus on block and track sidesteps. So they're like, we buff sidesteps, but we gave everyone a tool to deal with it in every situation. So like It's always like a homing mid that's like +4. So it's not like you could duck it either. It's like all of them. So Harada has come out now and said, hey, we get that it fucking sucks. We're getting a new balancing team, or the old balancing team that made good decisions and listened to the player base. We're bringing them back. So we're supposed to get a patch with. Sorry.
You know how insane that is? It's saying, hey, they fucked up season 2 so far that I'm replacing almost everybody, and I'm bringing back the older guys for the balancing team, which is kind of insane because everyone also agrees. Like, we've had this argument where like, oh, elite, like people who play Tekken 6 or 7 always complain about Tekken 8, but Tekken 8 is a new and fresh way to play the game and all that stuff, which I understand from a perspective, like why they thinking that. But now it's gonna be like, oh, like you just basically brought all the guys back. Now, are they going to make the game a defensive game still, like on Tekken 7? Or are they going to bring it back to? Are they going to keep the aggression of Tekken 8?
I mean,
the big thing, because for me, like a person like me, I personally enjoy the more aggressive type. Like I've played like video game, like every character I play in fighting game has always been like the rusher or the aggressor. I like those kind of fighting. But if they're going to change it to more defensive, do you think that's going to hurt the player base more, or like bring it people more inside?
The thing is, like, you can have an aggressive game that, like, is still balanced, you know? Like, if you have strong defensive options, but you also have really good offensive moves, then, like, it's balanced. And the thing with Tekken has always been, like, not always, but in most cases, there are, like, 3 qualities that will usually make a move good. And it'll either be a mid, it will be homing, or it will be safe. So safe is up to -9, meaning you can't get punished. So those are 3 things that can make a move good. And in the past, moves like this, or moves will have 2 of the 3 things. Because if they have 3 of the 3 things, the move is overpowered. That means there's no counterplay. But, so like, if you have a homing mid, it's not safe. So if you block it, you get hit for it, right?
Yes.
Or if you have a homing safe move, it will be a high, usually, so it can be ducked and launched.
Okay.
Or, what? Or you'll have a safe mid, but it can be sidestepped. So there's always counterplay. So those are like the 3 things that can make a move good. I mean, there are other things like plus frames and whatever, but like, for example, notorious really good plus frame move is Dragunov's wall running 2, where he fucking like does the big overhead punch. Yeah. That move is mid and it's safe, or it's actually plus, but it's very sidesteppable. And that goes for a lot of things. Or if something is mid and safe, and even if it lightly tracks, usually it has long startup, so if you're a good player, you can interrupt it or something. But now they gave people this like only exists in season 2 is safe mid homing moves, and sometimes plus mid homing moves. So it's not even like you give your turn up. So really, the game, if they take away these kinds of moves, or at least like dial them to where like any move like this is not safe, then the game like there's an option to get out of everything, and it then relies on the skill of the player on the defensive side to be able to get out of it. Okay. If that makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah. And I think also like regarding the balancing team, I think they wanted to like, I feel like for the most sense, I feel like they overtuned a lot of the things, and which I've noticed when I was playing season 2, the beginning of it, before they did the emergency patch, is like Shaheen, for example, like he is very like, what I felt like is they made him like a little too strong in my opinion, because even the things they nerfed about him, I was like, damn, I'm still like safe and everything. And my issue was that they kind of, it's like the old Call of Duty where, hey, we're just gonna buff everybody, so if everyone's broken, no one is broken. So then I feel like that's what they did, and I feel like that's the biggest issue, because I was like, you can't like do that in a fighting game. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Like that's fine in like an arcade shooter or something where like noob tubes are running around, because like everybody can have a noob tube, right?
Yeah.
But and like in a sense, there's turns. Like So like in Modern Warfare 2, which is what we're referring to when everything's busted, nothing's busted. If you have a grenade launcher that has like insta-kill radius of like 20 feet for some reason, you shoot it and you don't have another one. Like you have one, so then when that guy spawns back, he has his and he shoots you. So there's a give and take. But if everyone's busted in a fighting game, it boils down to who presses first, and then the other person has to block and guess for their life for the rest of the round. That's like...
It's boring.
What? That's why like a lot of people complain about with Guilty Gear, and why I stopped playing it. It's like whoever presses their button first at the end of the round kind of wins, because there's so much plus frame nonsense and mix up nonsense in that game that if you hit them first and get them in the wall, they have nothing to do but guess for their life. Like
yeah, 100%. No, I 100% agree. I think it's just it's interesting, but this is also a very bold move for him to bring basically fire them. I feel like maybe firing them, I don't know how to explain. I think maybe it's a little much to just fire most of the squad and bring back the older ones. Or we don't know exactly who he fired or how many he fired.
Yeah. We just know that some of the old is coming back.
Yeah, I hope maybe like the newer guys that they brought in, it was more like it would suck if they brought it in, they were new to this, they messed it up, and then now they're fired. It's like I hope like, okay, they got to step back and they don't get that much of a position. I hope maybe like they learn from it, or like the older guys who were like balancing 6 and 7, which everyone says is like good balancing. They were saying, okay, maybe we could just teach them. In a way, maybe it's like a learning lesson instead of just saying, "Oh, you're fired."
Like, yeah, I don't pray that anyone loses their job or anything, but also if you look at it from like the Bandai Namco perspective, like this patch was so bad that a bunch of pro players are like, I might retire because of this.
Yeah.
Like, and the Tekken is a 30-year-old franchise. Like, imagine if imagine if they didn't say we're gonna fix everything and revert a bunch of stuff back, and this balancing team stayed. That means they would have just murdered a 30-year-old franchise and tainted the name permanent. Like, I hope no one got fired and that this is a learning experience, but like because of this leaves like a lasting like distrust within the community and stuff. You know?
100%. So I mean, yeah, let's hope the lead developer actually does well. You know, we never want to hope the game was as bad, because Tekken is always like a lovable game. It's very easy to watch. Like for the most part,
I think it's the easiest to watch. Like now there's heat, but like for the most part, it's just like
it's easy to watch.
Health bar going down. Nobody's got super meter. Nobody like
it's not like Guilty Gear or like Mortal Kombat where just a lot of things are going on your screen where you're like, what the hell is this? So like it's easier to watch. So it's we hope the game does good. So it's for that sense, I do think that the whole balancing team does well and the development team improves. But Danny, speaking of development team, I have been addicted. Well, no, this has to do with the Pope in a way.
Oh,
he's French instead of Italian. But I've been playing Expedition 33, and I think it is one of the greatest games I've ever played.
I mean, you've only played like 4 games, so like you've played Counter-Strike, you've played Valorant, you've played Deadlock, and RuneScape. So
yeah, you're right.
1 out of 5 isn't that hard. Keep going.
But no, but I think the game, what I tell everyone, everyone's biggest thing was like, oh, you know, it's a turn-based game, I'm not gonna get into it. But it's not like a turn-based game where you think it's, because when people think turn-based, they think of Pokemon for some reason, and they don't understand
I think
like
Pokemon's boring as fuck.
Yeah, by the way, Pokemon is for the past like what? I feel like for the past like 8 years or 7 years, it's been shit.
The last Pokemon game I played was Pokemon Diamond, which came out when we were in like 3rd grade or something, and I've not been interested in purchasing a new Pokemon game since.
I made the mistake of buying Shield and Sword, and I regret that decision every single day for buying it. But what I think is also what they revolutionized this. It's 34 people working on this, okay? It was an all ex-Ubisoft developers. They found the composer and the music director in SoundCloud. They found one of the writers in Reddit, and they created this masterpiece that took them 5 years to make.
Mm-hmm.
So the story is with this game is that it's a French company. I know French.
Is it like a baguette kind of thing?
It's a baguette kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they added baguettes in the game.
Okay.
So what the thing is, the lead developer of Sandfall Entertainment is Ubisoft developer, and in his quote, he was bored at Ubisoft. So basically saying like he was bored at Ubisoft and working on it. Well, not surprising. It's Ubisoft. They don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't made a good game in years. But what my thing is that he was like, nah, I'm just gonna go make my own thing, what I like. And he did say he took a lot of inspiration from Final Fantasy. And he's saying that a lot of the game inspiration is from Final Fantasy, which you can tell if you look at side by side.
I haven't played the game, but yeah, looking at gameplay, it definitely looks more like modern Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and the thing is, what the cool thing about this game is that it's not just you go, I go, you go, I go. It's an interactive turn-based. So basically, you can parry like you do in Sekiro or like Dark Souls, and you can dodge, and like there's other different abilities. You can't just get hit and then just wait for the next turn. It's actually interactive, and you can actually like parry and all that shit and then get back into it. So it's not just that and back and forth. But what's so good about the game is that each character, they made the characters so lovable. Like all the characters you play, because you play multiple characters, but they're in like one party.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like how Final Fantasy is. There's like it's in a party, but there's the main guy, but there's also like a party you're with, and you're all with them. But they made everyone so likable. The game is, by the way, beautiful. Like
yeah, it does.
Absolutely
it looks
stunning.
really good. The graphics and stuff look fire.
There was no reason. By the way, this only cost them like a few $1 million for like technically an indie studio, if you want to call them, because they're such a small studio. So I don't know if you want to call them an indie studio or because they're new. This is their first game, and like
I mean, indie is like just means like independent. Like they're not like owned by like a major publishing company or anything.
Yeah,
right?
like by the way, this is like solo. Of course, like they got help. They got like help from other companies, like small help from them. But for the most part, it's just like the 33 people or like 34 people.
Isn't that why it's called 33? Because there's 33 people on the dev team or something.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if they confirmed it or not. But the game is very unique because it's such a this is not spoiler. So if you haven't played the game, I'm not gonna spoil it. Just know the game is. There's a lady named the Paintress. She writes every year. She wakes up and writes a number on like a big tree, and if you're over the age of that number, you basically just like Thanos snap, perish away. Okay,
Ooh.
and then every year there's an expedition that goes and tries to stop them, and every year they fail. Except now you're playing as Expedition 33, and you guys go. Okay, but the concept, it's not what the story is, it's also the characters. The monsters are also, I do notice a lot of the monsters feel like they're inspired by Elden Ring, because some of these monsters look fucking weird and look very unique. So I gotta say, I think they took some inspiration from Elden Ring when it comes to some of these monsters.
More Berserk fantasy.
Or Berserk, yeah, there is a lot of Berserk reference, of course.
Because Elden Ring, the whole Dark Souls series is like all inspired by Berserk.
Yeah, any dark RPGs, basically, there's going to be Berserk elements into it. But what I think is the game is why I think the game is good. On top of that, like the graphics are great, the characters are great. By the way, Charlie Cox plays as the main character in that game from Daredevil. He actually plays the main character of Expedition, yeah, which is funny as hell because he has done no promotion to the game. He
hasn't said anything about it.
He hasn't said anything because his conflict is the same because Daredevil's airing, so he is like scheduling issues.
So he can't they don't want him deferring his audience away from Daredevil.
Yeah, it's unfortunately like scheduling issues, so he can't really promote it as much.
If they get Game of the Year, they're gonna be nominated at Game Awards. I don't have a doubt. 100%. But I bet you he'll show up for that.
I hope he does. I hope he says something, like does something. He's like, oh yeah, appreciate it and all that. I don't know how long ago he worked on this because this is in development for 5 years. So I don't know how long ago he worked on this. But the game is just genuinely, like everything about the game is beautiful. And currently right now, it's the highest rated game in like the past 5 years or so. Like it's higher rated than Baldur's Gate 3, which got like a 92 in Metacritic. This is like
Baldur's Gate, everyone likes that game.
Yeah, and that was like that won Game of the Year by like a landslide. So the fact that this is getting a higher Metacritic, it's like insane. So now, but the thing is, what I want everyone to know: don't be pushed away because it's a turn-based game. I feel like people need to give it a shot because it's not like like I said, it's not like Pokemon where it's like, oh, you go, I go, you go, I go. There's actually interactive. There's builds to the game. You can develop different weapons. It's like very open world. It's really, really good. And I think everyone should get it because on top of that, it's $45. Games like these need to be appreciated. And
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
What,
I don't know
Balatro
what this is
almost?
gonna happen. Yeah, Balatro almost won it. It was made by one guy, right?
It's made by one guy, and he thought no one was gonna buy it.
Yeah, and I almost won Game of the Year. I mean, it won Indie Game of the Year,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was that.
But I think people are waking up, and I think another thing is, I don't know, word of mouth is like really popping some of these games off, because like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I haven't seen anything about Expedition 33. I've just heard like 20 people talking about how good it is, you know?
Yeah, like ask anybody who's played the game. They all say, yeah, it's one of the best games I've ever played. Literally ask anybody. I've seen only on Twitter. I have yet to see any real negative comment, minus the people say, oh, it's turn-based, I'm not playing it. Which is like, you're the same people that will buy Call of Duty or NBA every year for the same shit and slop that they produce.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna give them money. So I really do hope people wake up and actually appreciate games that actually have passion to it. Because also the music is is so good.
Yeah, from the fucking
like,
SoundCloud guy, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like this whole story is just odd. So I don't think so. Now that GTA 6 is delayed by next year, I'm actually really happy. By the way, that GTA 6 got delayed to next year because now Expedition 33 can actually win Game of the Year instead of it just being overshadowed by GTA 6. So I'm happy. I think now publishing teams are all probably ecstatic that that is coming out in 2026.
They have a shot.
But no. I really do hope so, and I think everyone should give Expedition 33 a shot because it is genuinely one of the best games I've ever played, and you can ask anybody who's even touched the game. They say it's amazing. So, yeah, that's it for the news. Just for the core news, not really much going on. We're unfortunately out of Split 2. I don't know what this means for playoffs as for Ascension. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know if we qualified or not. We have to wait till see. So if you want any news,
see if like map differential is crazy or something.
We have to see on that, and also again we have to see that Rainbow Six right now is on off season right now, so we have nothing else regarding off season. Fighting basically is off season right now. You know, just support any of the fighting game creators like Baru regarding that. And yeah, if you want to check out QORgaming.com/shop, comment down below. And if you want anything, go to QOR Gaming on Twitter. Check out everything.
All right.
Alrighty.
Bye bye.